Hey guys, I'm Brickarms here, and today I'm coming back at you with another company comparison video. Now I know that I haven't done these for a very long time, but I know that you guys really enjoy them, so I thought that it was about time that I filmed a new one of these. And today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be looking at weapons, or should I say, we're going to be comparing weapons, and specifically when I say weapons, as you can see in front of you, we're going to be comparing revolvers, and even more specifically, we're going to be comparing revolver overmolds. The right one is from Minifig Cat, and the left one is from Brickarms. Let me grab my trusty spear. So as you can see, this is the Minifig Cat one. Easy to remember because the Minifig Cat one has a black plastic for the main body of the pistol, whereas the Brickarms one has a gunmetal. So why don't we put these into some minifigures' hands so they're easy to see, and then we'll go ahead and jump right into this comparison more in depth. I have to say, I think the first thing that immediately jumps out to me when you're comparing these two is that the Brickarms one looks more high quality. Now, I don't know how fair it is to say, to judge something just based on kind of very cursory glances, but if you look at this, I feel like the Brickarms kind of design is a little bit more accurate to the pistol they're going for. Now, I'm not entirely sure if Minifig Cat was going for the same pistol that Brickarms was going for, but I feel like they probably were because the pistols are very similar in length. The Minifig Cat one, if it was trying to be a different type of revolver, it would have been much longer and just a much longer body. So I feel like in that regard, they're probably similar. Now, I think that what you see as big differences is one, you can see the triggers on the Minifig Cat are kind of more bulky and a little bit less realistic looking, I guess we can say, than the Brickarms ones. As you can see here, it's just more defined on the Brickarms one, I think, and it looks a little bit more high quality. As well, I think something that you can see is that the kind of connection point between the two types of plastic, the two colors on the Minifig Cat one versus the Brickarms one. The Brickarms one just looks a lot more seamless and a lot more, I guess, high quality. I guess that's the best way to put it. So I think that's something else that you need to note. And of course, I think that I was unable to order the Minifig Cat one in a gunmetal, and of course I was able to order, obviously, the Brickarms one in a gunmetal, and I think that that's actually a huge difference. The gunmetal, I feel like, is a little bit more accurate to this type of pistol, and it gives a little bit more life to it. I've generally started to transition away from getting black weapons from Brickarms. I do feel like more modern stuff, black is more appropriate, but I feel like historically a more gunmetal black, maybe ashy color is a more appropriate one that kind of brings details out a little bit more, especially when it's in this small of a scale for a Lego minifigure. It just makes everything pop more. I think that's essentially why I like it better. One thing that I guess we can notice again is that on the Minifig Cat one, it does have a trigger, whereas the Brickarms one doesn't. So it's a both plus and a minus, I think, for Minifig Cat. In one regard, the Minifig Cat one, the trigger fills up almost that entire space and looks a little bit missized with the size of the pistol. But then again, it does have an actual trigger, and that Brickarms one just has a hole. So it's almost like, there's nothing for this minifigure to pull. He's just kind of like pulling air to shoot his gun. So I do think that this is a point where the Minifig Cat one does have some advantages. Now, if we turn these figures and we point them straight, I don't think that there's really any difference from the looks going forwards. So I don't really think there's much to compare there. But when we do take them out of minifigure hands and we show them up, I guess, closer, what you will see is that there's a difference in the quality of the handle. So if you look on the left here, this is the Minifig Cat handle, and what you can see is it's almost very rectangular. Like you can see, it still has those smooth edges and such, but it very much looks machine-made. It doesn't look handmade, of course, as the Brickarm overmolds are, and it just looks a little bit less exact, I'd say, than the Brickarms one. So just keep this kind of photo in mind. It just looks, the handle looks almost like it's a rectangle that's trying to be circular or be more rounded. Whereas here's the Brickarms one, and you can see it's a very rounded, very high quality, nice handle. I think that's where the biggest difference between these two is this handle. I think that the Brickarms one really sets it apart. With the level of detail and the level of sculpting care it took to get to kind of this more accurate, I'd say, finish and shape. But as you can see, there's a pretty clear difference in the handles here when you're holding these two next to each other. And I think that the Brickarms one just blows the Minifig Cat one out of the water. That's, I think, the biggest difference for me in terms of actual quality and production style and I guess manufacturing what they did. But I think that something else that you need to consider when getting these is the price point. So the Minifig Cat one, I believe, was about two to $3 for this overmold, and then of course the Brickarms overmold, I believe, was about 7 to 8 if I can get it to stand up. I'm really struggling to get this to stand up. It's a little embarrassing. Okay, guys, welcome back. It actually took me about a minute to get that Brickarms overmold to stand up on its side. So that is a little embarrassing, but now that it's stood up, as I was saying, the biggest difference between these two is their price point. So as I already mentioned, I believe the Minifig Cat one on the left is about $2 to $3, and then the Brickarms one on the right is about $7 to $8. So that's essentially a three to four times difference depending on the price point that you pay for each one. And that's actually pretty major. So I think that if you're really going for an economic overmold, I would go for the Minifig Cat one, because you can't really beat an overmold for the price they are providing them with, and they're decent quality. I wouldn't say that they're highest, but they are decent. But if you're really going for the most detail and you're going for not the most bang for your buck per se, but I guess just simply the highest level of accuracy and the highest level of craftsmanship that actually goes into the product, I would definitely recommend going for the Brickarms one, as you can see on the right. I just think that it is a cut above. It's kind of a tier above the Minifig Cat one. So I think that if you're really going for that realism aspect and you're willing to, fork out the additional little bit of money, I do think it's worth it. So I do think that the price point is a very important thing to consider. I don't think that you guys should take this video as an endorsement saying that you should never buy a Minifig Cat overmold because the Brickarms one is so much better. Essentially, I think that you get what you pay for, right? When you buy an overmold that's only $2 or $3, you're getting what you paid for. Whereas if you buy a pistol overmold that's $7 or $8, again, you're going to get a little bit more for what, for considering that you are paying more money, and you're paying for more time that was spent in creating a superior product. So if you want to pay that more, I say go ahead. And if you don't, I don't think it's too bad, because this is a decent replacement that can be used, I'd say, pretty well. I don't think that it's the best replacement, but I do think that in a pinch, especially if you're not super concerned with a hyper level of detail, I do think that the Minifig Cat one would work. Other than that, I don't really think that there's anything else to say on these. If you think that I missed anything that's, kind of different between these two, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Would you go for, the $2 or $3 Minifig Cat overmold on the left, or would you go for the 7 or 8 Brickarms overmold on the right? I'm kind of curious what you guys think, because I already know that I would go for the Brickarms one currently. I'm a big Brickarms overmold fan, and I think that you really can't replicate the quality that Will puts into those products. So I'm a little bit biased, I guess, in that regard, that I would definitely choose the Brickarms, but I am certainly curious about what you guys think. So as I said, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Other than that, I don't really think that there's anything else to add. So as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe to the normal stuff, and I'll catch you next time.